Good morning. I would like to apologize for the late start of today's forum. I am Rayon Dawson, Executive Assistant for the Advancement Division, and I'll be your moderator for today's pre-registration forum. I welcome you to the University of Technology Jamaica Virtual Pre-Registration Forum 2021. I also would like to extend hearty congratulations to you, your parents, and our sponsors for choosing UTech Jamaica as the university to give you the opportunity for a career, not just a job. You have worked hard to get here, and your time at UTech Jamaica starts today. Without any further ado, I would like to welcome the following university officials who will be participating in today's forum. Mrs. Mercedes Dean, University Registrar. Mr. Clayton Moore, Assistant Registrar, Office of Admissions and Enrollment Management. Mrs. Garcia Green McLennan, Director, Student Financing. Ms. Nadia Tomlinson, Enrollment Officer. Mr. Andre Lawrence, E-Learning Technologist, Office of Distance Learning here at UTech Jamaica. Ms. Robin Murray, President of UTech Jamaica Students Union, and other members of staff from colleges, faculties, and departments. Welcome. At this time, may I invite Mr. Clayton Moore, Assistant Registrar for the Office of Admissions and Enrollment Management, to give the opening remarks. Please make welcome, Mr. Moore.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dawson. Good morning and welcome. We at the University of Technology Jamaica, the home of champions, are glad to have you, as Mr. Dawson said, that we appreciate you choosing the University of Technology Jamaica as your choice for further education. It is here at UTech that you are going to build many relationships. It is not just about your studies. Your academic pursuits are the first thing that, or the primary reason for which you are going to be coming here. However, it is more than an academic pursuit that you'll be doing. You'll be having great friendships. You'll be meeting persons. Some of you will perhaps even meet your lifelong partner. Many persons have done so, and they will tell you about great stories. I want to say to you at UTech Jamaica, make the most of your opportunity here. We're here to serve you, and we're happy that you have come at this pre-registration forum. It is here to give you information so that you can know how the registration process goes, know how to select your modules, know you're going to be hearing about fee payment, you'll be hearing from the SLB, and so and there'll be opportunities for you to ask questions. I know many of you have questions that you want to be answered, and it's the time for you to ask those questions. And we suggest to you that even as many of your teachers would have said to you in the past, that even if you think it's a foolish question, ask it nonetheless. And yes, you might be the one to look as a fool, but take my foolish advice that you'll be better off for it when you are fully conversant with all the relevant information. So we want to welcome you. We want to thank you for choosing UTech. And we look forward to you becoming a UTech Jamaica student. Thank you again, and do enjoy the forum.
Thank you, Mr. Clayton Moore, Assistant Registrar, Office of Enrollment and Admissions. May I invite Mrs. Mercedes Dean to bring greetings.
Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure this morning to welcome you to the University of Technology of Jamaica pre-registration forum. It is new to you, but this activity has been going on since 2009. And each cohort, we seek to improve our delivery on this program. So in my introductory remarks, I'd like to recognize the university's administration, that of Professor Giles, or acting president, or deans, or deputy registrar. Well, you have met Mr. Moore already. Many of you have had letters signed by him. So you're putting a face to the signature. And so it is my pleasure this morning to welcome you as prospective students to UTech. I want to say to you that if in any doubt in your mind, the slightest of doubt as whether you have made the right choice, I want to tell you that you have. So with all those things, you can rest assured that we are here to give you good service, quality education, and to ensure that after your period of study, you will be rewarded with your degree or certification in what you have. Our university has had a long history. It started in 1958, a period of 63 years, am I correct? The math? And so we have grown. And in 1995, we were awarded university status as a University of Technology, Jamaica. You're entering a space that has had a long tradition of quality people who have excelled. If you're an Olympic fan, and who isn't, you will see some of our graduates on the field participating. Miss Elaine Thompson, the world 100 and 200 meters record holder. Michelle and Fraser Price are just some of the litany of athletes that we have here. But not only athletes, we have had strong people in industry, in banking, in all the sciences. And so we offer you a full package here at UTech. So what am I here to ask for you today? Today, we are focusing on our pre-registration activities. And as of August 9th, we will start our registration. And we want that to be a very good experience for you. So we have lined up for you a number of persons who will be guiding you through the process, your deans, your faculty advisors, your heads of school. We'll even have SLB. Many of you are SLB applicants. You'll want to know that process. Or financial matters will also be discussed with you. So we want you to be very clear at UTech how we operate. UTech Jamaica, I keep leaving the Jamaica, but it's actually the University of Technology, Jamaica. So I welcoming you knowing that you will be excellent students when you get here, and to be proud of the place that has fashioned you to make what you will be and what you will become. And finally, I wish to ask you that in this COVID-19 and pandemic, I want you to know that we are going to give you the quality service as in any other sphere. So be careful, ensure that you know your program, what you want to do, your scheduling. And so we want this to be the best of time in your life. And we ask you to continue. One of the things that get to people many of the times is the area of continuing the journey. Once you start the journey at UTech, we will do everything to make you succeed. That's our mission. So continue being the person you are, despite the challenges of COVID-19. And I implore you that you take care of the protocols governing this activity, this pandemic that we are in. And I also want you to ensure that as you come, that you have the will to survive, that despite all the challenges, you will continue to pursue excellence. As in our motto, continue pursuing your excellence. Excellence is the goal of UTech. So I welcome you and thank you for joining us. Blessings.
You were warmly greeted by Mrs. Mercedes Dean, University Registrar. At this time, I would like to ask Reverend Coral Richards, one of the university's chaplain, to offer prayers. Reverend Richards.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning to the students who are here for the pre-registration process. Welcome to the University of Technology. It's a place of champions, definitely, but it's also a place where you can find God. And I'm here this morning to just bless your time and to pray for you. 1 Chronicles 4:10 says, Jabez cried out to the Lord of Israel, O God, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory. Let your hand be with me and keep me from harm, so that I will be free from pain. And God granted his request. I'm going to pray this morning, like Jabez, for you. Let us pray. Almighty and everlasting God, we ask this morning on behalf of every student who is a potential university student for the University of Technology, that you will bless them indeed. Bless them in their going out and in their coming in. Bless them in their thinking. Bless them in their home. Bless them, O Lord God, with the wisdom to know what your purpose is for their lives as they consider strongly becoming a part of this university. We ask, oh God, that you will also protect them. We pray your protection from harm, protection from pain. In the midst of this pandemic, we ask that you protect every student from every form of evil, trauma, accident, illness, or any other negative influence in their lives. We ask also, Father, that you will grant them good success in what they are about to be pursuing. You will done in every decision and every step of the way. We ask, Lord, that also be with them. We pray those who know that they will recognize your presence with them. Those who don't know you as a personal savior, that their eyes will be enlightened and their spirits in tuned to who you are, and that your Holy Spirit will draw them into a relationship with you. One, oh God, that will cause them to experience an abundance of life and an assurance of their future in the life ever after. So, Father, bless every single aspect of today's proceedings with these students. Give them ears to hear and to understand. Give them the boldness to ask questions about things that they don't quite get. And we ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. God bless you.
Thank you, Reverend Richards, for prayers. At this time, may I invite Miss Nadia Tomlinson, who will be addressing you on understanding the registration process and what it takes to succeed here at UTech. Miss Nadia Tomlinson, she's the enrollment officer. Please make welcome Miss Tomlinson.
Good morning, prospective students, parents, guardians, and the wider University of Technology Jamaica community. I said before, I'm Nadia Tomlinson, Enrollment Officer here in the Office of Admissions and Enrollment Management, UTech Jamaica. I would just like to welcome you again. Thank you for joining us, and I hope that these presentations will bring some knowledge before you start your registration process. So I'll be taking you through the guide to enrollment for the upcoming academic year 2021-2022. Now, it's very important to note that we expect our students, to be prepared for the road ahead. We know it can be challenging, but we want to ensure you that once you are prepared, you can navigate university life. Again, I would just like to thank you for choosing the University of Technology Jamaica. We know that, you could have chosen any university out there. There are many options that offer the same, opportunities to our students. And I would just like to express the gratitude of the university for you making UTech Jamaica your choice of study here. Now, before we go into the full presentation, I would just like to remind our prospective students that before registration begins, it's important that you pay your enrollment commitment deposit. That enrollment commitment deposit will ensure that once our systems open on the 9th of August, you will have access to select your modules. Now, for those who are not sure of what that is, you would have gotten some communication from our office, whether it's an acceptance letter or an offer of a place, to our students who were sitting CXC exams recently. Now, that letter should outline to you whether or not you should be making the payment of the enrollment commitment deposit. Now, that amount for our local students, 30,000 Jamaican dollars. We don't have a deadline date for you to make this payment, but we implore you to make the payment before enrollment begins, so that, as I said, on the 9th of August, once the system opens, you will have access to the system to make your selections. I want to ensure you that it is not an extra fee that we're adding to your tuition. That amount actually forms a part of your tuition fee, and therefore, you're not being asked to pay anything extra. Now, we will go through the steps of the enrollment and registration process. And I just want to go through step 1, academic advisement. Now, at the end of this forum, you will all be branching out to your colleges and faculties for your academic advisement sessions. Now, academic advisement is very important because you will be told of what to expect during your tenure here at UTech Jamaica. Also, we will be preparing you for module selection. So that is where you'll receive your module selection guides. You'll be told how to select your modules, which module should be selected. And it's very important that you understand that process. Again, academic advisement sessions will be done at the end of this forum. It will start at 12 and end at 2 p.m. Now, a part of the academic advisement, as I said before, is understanding your module selection guide. Now, we will go through a bit of how that works, and that is step 2, module selection and fee generation. So once you select modules, your fees are generated at the end of that process. After those fees are generated, you will receive financial clearance once you have paid the enrollment commitment fee and have successfully selected and confirmed your modules. So that's step 3 in the process, receiving financial clearance. Before I continue, I would just like to remind our prospective students that there is an enrollment video on the enrollment page of the website. That video will show you the entire process from start to finish, even completing the 10-step process at the end, how it is that you go about selecting your module selection guides. It also has some troubleshooting steps so that if you encounter any issues, it also overcome those issues. So at the end of this session, at the end of your academic advisement session as well, if you have not yet checked out, just go onto the university, scroll down to the bottom of the screen where it says quick tips and click on enrollment. That will take you. You go through, you can also click on the pre-registration forum link. All the information that you need is listed on that page inside our enrollment section of the website. You will see the video, you will see information on fee payment, everything that will be presented this morning. So to continue in our enrollment process, after step 3, you have step 4, which is completing your online enrollment. Now, as I said before, that is a 10-step process. It's just you confirming the information that you gave to the university upon submitting your application. We will also inform you of the fees that were generated after you did your module selection, and it will also give you tips as to how these fees should be paid. And we will ask you just to confirm that you understand and you have read through our policies and regulations, and you understand your obligation as a student to the university. Now, another critical step in the enrollment and registration process, step 5, is submitting your medical form. So after you have completed your medical, you have a choice of doing it here at our medical center, or you can also do it at your own physician. Now, we will quickly go through that during this presentation as well. So you have to do your medical, complete your form, and submit it. That's a very important step in the registration process. And the last step is to get your ID, which would confirm that you're a University of Technology Jamaica student. And all these steps have to be followed and completed properly before you will get the opportunity to take your photo ID. Now, before you begin your module selection, we understand that not all our prospective students are coming straight from high school. We may have some persons who chose to, go and join the workforce before, or even, while studying and getting their college education. So for these persons, we offer transfer of credits and module exemptions. Now, this will form a part of your academic advisement as well, things that you would need to know before you start the registration process. So if you had studied at another tertiary institution, if you have had any work experience and so on, you can apply for any of these 2 processes. Now, what you would need to know that the transfer of credits is a one-time process. You do that during your first year here as a student at UTech. So once you're coming in for your first year, joining a new program of study, in any of the semesters, we offer you the opportunity of submitting transfer of credits. And as I said before, it's a one-time process. So after your first year ends, that process is no longer available to you. And there is no cost applied to requesting transfer of credits. What you will need to do, download the fillable form from the website, or you can even complete it and print it. It is available on our website. You request an official transcript from your previous institution. Ensure that the transcript is sealed when it is delivered to the university. Once the transcript is open, it is voided and cannot be used. So you need to complete the form, submit it to your college or faculty office. During the advisement session, they will let you know additional information of how you can contact them and submit documents if you're unable to come in on campus. You also, as I said, need to have an official transcript. It should be delivered to the university. It can be addressed to your college and or faculty, as well as the Office of Admissions and Enrollment Management. Now, for our CAPE students and or working students who would have received years of experience, you might not be accredited elsewhere, but you have years of experience in the field in which you choose to study, you can submit a letter from your place of employment stating what it is that you do at work. For our CAPE students, the option is also open to you to do module exemptions now, because we cannot process transfer of credits for our CAPE students. And when you go to your academic advisement session, they will let you know who can apply for what courses using CAPE. It's not everything, it's mostly some of the science-based, natural and applied sciences. So you will get further information at your advisement sessions. Now, the difference with the transfer of credits is that module exemptions, you can apply for this at any time during your tenure here as a student. So over the course of your 4 years, if you're doing a degree or a diploma or an associate, in any semester outside of your first year, within your first year, you can apply for a module exemption. It is, well, there's a cost applied to it. So you have to select and pay for those modules. We ask that you attend these classes until you receive confirmation that your module exemption has been processed. So the difference between a transfer of credit module exemption, transfer of credit, one-time process, no cost applied. Module exemption, it is done at any time during your years here as a UTech student. You select and pay for the module. However, we ask that you sit in these classes until confirmation is given that you received the module exemption. For students who would have applied for a transfer of credit, say for instance, you reached your third year, your second year, and you realize that you could have applied for a module and you did not, you can go the route of a module exemption. You'll just have to select and pay for that module. Now, going further into our module selection process, I want to explain that there are 3 categories that you can select from: your specialized modules, your non-specialized modules, and your electives. Now, your specialized modules are modules that are specific to your area of study. And the non-specialized modules can be your general education modules. So those are your language modules, your math modules, and so on. Now, when you're making your selections, you will get to select your lecture session, and the system will assign tutorials and labs. One thing to note is that during semesters 1 and 2, you have the opportunity of selecting a minimum of 9 credits and a maximum of 21. For the summer session, we do not have a limit, but you still need to select within the 21 credits for that period. Module selection is also a one-time process. As I stated before, once you have selected and confirmed your modules, your fees will be generated. Your fees are usually broken down per credit for each module. And this also has your ancillary fees. Now, your ancillary fees are fees that are paid once each academic year. So once you select and confirm, you will receive a fee breakdown. Once you receive a fee breakdown, this is how it will look. Each module will be listed and the per credit fees along with the ancillary fees. Now, after you've selected and confirmed, gotten your fee breakdown, then you will move to the financial clearance aspect. Once financial clearance is received, you will be required to return to the students portal to complete the 10-step online enrollment process. Once you go to your entry on the students portal, you will see a message that says, click here to enroll. Once you click on that message, it will take you through some steps. And as I said before, you will be confirming the information that you gave to us once you submitted your application. So it's easy, it's nothing to be alarmed about. You read through it properly, make the changes where necessary, read through our policy and procedure, and then you confirm at the end. One important thing to note, it's not a part of your enrollment process, but it is important for you to note, which is the add drop process. Now, the add drop process is available to currently registered students only. So once you have completed your registration, and you know that would involve selecting and confirming your modules, if you need to make any changes to your selections. The process of doing that is through add drop. Now you can choose to add a module or remove a module from the selections that you have made. On screen, there is a listing of how to do that. So you would go to the university's website, and at the top, you would have add drop there. In the student link, you click on the student section of the website and select add drop. Once the add drop link is clicked, you will be asked to register or to log in. You will use your ID number as your username and the password. Now for our new students to the university, new students using add drop for the very first time, you can request a password from Tier 1 support. Our students who are returning students, you can go on and create a default password by entering your date of birth in the format of day, month, year. So it's 2 digits for the day, 2 digits for the month, and the last 2 digits of the year. Now, as I said before, important step, the medical form. Now it's important that you download the form. So you'll go on our website, look for forms, type in medical form. Once you have downloaded and completed the form, you submit it with your diagnostic test results as well as your immunization card to studentmedical@utech.edu.jm. I will repeat, once you have completed your medical, completed the form, you have completed all your diagnostic tests, you submit those results along with the form, copy of your immunization card to studentmedical@utech.edu.jm. Now the medical center will confirm receipt of your form within 5 working days, and we will pass on your name to the ID services unit in preparation for your photo ID. Students will not be required to come on campus before to take your photo ID. Last step. Once your medical is completed, as I said before, your name will be submitted to the student ID department, and you can come in and take your ID afterwards. Please wait on confirmation from the medical center that we have received your form before you proceed to take your ID. Once you have completed all the steps that I just told you about, then you would have completely and successfully completed enrollment. And this is where I would just like to thank you for staying with us, going through the guide to enrollment for the upcoming academic year. I hope it was very informative. As stated before, you can find this information under the pre-registration forum link on the enrollment page of the university's website. Thank you again. I will hand over to the moderator who will take us through the remainder of the forum. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nadia Tomlinson. She had shared a lot of information, and I hope you will digest the information shared earlier. I'll just reiterate, you can find the information at the pre-registration page on the website. Or should you need to call, you could contact the Office of Enrollment and Admissions at 876-927-1680 to 8 extension 2831. At this time, may I invite Mrs. Garcia Green McLennan, Director, Student Financing, who will help you to learn about how you can pay for your university education. Mrs. Green McLennan.
Good morning. Thank you so much for the introduction and apologies for that slight delay. Are you hearing me clearly? Can you hear me? Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing.
Okay,
We're hearing.
thank you. Sorry, I had an interruption in my internet. Apologies. Thank you so much for the introduction, and I'm happy to be a part of the forum. And let me just start by saying thank you for having me here. I'm from the Department of Student Financing, and what I wanted to share with our prospective students are some tidbits about the funding opportunities and options that are available to them as they pursue this wonderful journey here at UTech Jamaica. So let me start by offering a formal welcome. Of course, you were already advised that you have made a wise choice, in fact, the best choice, and we're very happy to have you here at UTech. Welcome. All right, let me just offer congratulations to all the parents, the spouses, the well-wishers who would have worked with our prospective students to get them to this stage. They would have successfully navigated CSEC, CAPE, and all the challenges this year, and now they are college-bound, and for that, we believe that they would have already accomplished much. On this journey, though you might not be packing a bag to come to Kingston right now, mentally, I know you are preparing. And so I'm here to help you with that preparation. Let me start by introducing my department. First, the Department of Student Financing exists to impact the students here at UTech positively through the provision of efficient administrative and student financial support services. We believe that our students will achieve, and we are here to assist. So we will support you throughout your academic pursuits. Who are we? Well, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, we are a full service department that offers a number of financial related services. That includes all matters concerning your tuition payment, not the determination of what your fee, your actual program cost is. But once that is determined, this department will then work out for you and communicate what those will translate in terms of the fee requirements for you for a particular academic session, how you are expected to pay that, what deadlines are applicable, and the conditionalities that also apply. Additionally, we provide a number of support services of a financial nature. Firstly, we offer a very robust student work program. We offer students the opportunity to pursue good work experience to complement their academic studies so that they leave well-rounded. Additionally, as a university, we're quite aware that there are a number of students who, despite being quite bright and having a lot to offer, might be challenged. And so we offer through our student welfare office a number of support programs to help students whilst they're here, to include a lunch program, support for transportation, and small grants to assist with tuition and other school-related expenses. And of course, we provide scholarships to our brightest and the best performing students, and this is done through partnerships with a number of public and private sector entities. So the first thing I want to say to our students today when it comes down to matters of finance and matters of higher education is you must have a plan. And in fact, you might need to have a plan B and a plan C. As you would see with COVID-19, anything can happen. And those with a plan are the ones who will succeed. It therefore means that as university students, I know that you're going to be proactive. You're going to do the research, pull out all the stops to ensure that you are in the know and ahead of the game. That's important because although tertiary education offers great rewards, and you will see that at the end of your tenure, it comes at great cost. So you must be mentally and emotionally prepared to invest time. That's what is involved. It definitely requires some level of funding, and that's why I'm here. And of course, the effort to work hard and to be consistent at what you do. The first thing that I wanted to share with you as you move through this research and being proactive is what you would have heard already. Semesterization. This is how we operate at UTech Jamaica, both in terms of how you attend your classes for teaching and learning and how you attend to your fee payment requirement. It's done around 3 academic sessions, each called a semester, as you would have heard. What I would like to emphasize is what this really means for you as a student. Consider this a grand buffet where there are a number of offerings before you. You have a plate and you have the option to select what goes on that plate. Those are the modules that Ms. Tomlinson would have referred to earlier. These modules are linked to a particular program guide from your faculty or college. You, however, have the flexibility to determine what goes on that plate. And that ought to be done based on 1, your competence, what you can manage, and very importantly, what you can afford. We don't want to put too much on the plate and when we get to the checkout line, we can't pay for it. We don't want to put too little and then we realize we could have taken more. So academic advisement and doing the research, going on the website, reading what we have to offer is very important because once you have selected, you are now obligated to pay for that selection. We might offer you a payment plan facility, and we usually do. And if so, you pay that minimum, but you are encouraged as best as possible to pay in full. Once you have selected your modules, your invoice will be generated. So I want you to take away this very important thing. It is you, the student, that determines your tuition fee, not your faculty, not accounts. It's your selection during the enrollment process, as you would have heard. As you select, you check the weighting of each course in terms of the credit weighting. What's the module cost? You add the number of modules you can afford to pursue. That sum total will give you the total of your tuition, and then the miscellaneous fees are added. And that's what becomes due as of census date. Now, that's a new term I'm introducing in this presentation. So once you've come up with your invoice and you know what the fees are based on your selection, you must ask yourself some questions. Do I understand the fee payment policies that govern this particular session? That information has already been shared on the portal. We will continue to supply that for you. Your student union can provide you with additional information, or our website has that information. You need to know the deadlines and the conditions associated with the plan for each session, which may vary from session to session. One must ask oneself, do I have the funds to pay for what I've selected? And if I don't, there'd be a gap. What is this gap and how can I plug the gap? Well, during this session and also in orientation, we're going to introduce you to a number of options that I'm sure some of you already know. You can find a little money here and there to support and plug that gap. You may need to borrow from the bank. You may need to definitely consider the student loan as one of the best funding options for students, but also call auntie, call uncle, call godmother, godfather, everybody who's vested in this higher education thing, pull out all the stops because this is everybody's business to plug the finances. And so we are going to be moving forward with our plan A, B, and even our plan C. Now, you're not too young, even if you're just coming from high school, to start making a budget. You're going to list all of the expenses that you believe are associated with you coming to school in August. Not just the tuition, but also the additional expenses that might attend. We know you might not be coming on campus, so there might not be boarding, but for some of you, there might be. List them realistically so you have a good understanding. I sit on a number of panels where we interview students, and companies often want to know what's the gap you need for school, not just tuition, because sometimes they can't give you the tuition, but they can assist you with something else. So you want to consider that as you move forward, having a budget. So let's drill a little bit more just to give you some specifics about the tuition requirement for the 2021-22 academic year. So you would have heard the term already, your miscellaneous fees. So let me explain the concept that undergirds your miscellaneous fee. Firstly, note it is mandatory. It cannot be waived, it can't be pushed back, and it's always paid first. It is due once per academic year. And if you are SLB funded or funded by any other government entity, then you must ensure that these fees are always paid up, because the belief is that you cover your small fees and then your donor or sponsor will assist you with the rest. So it's mandatory. Secondly, it's always due in your first semester of an academic year. I didn't say semester 1, I said your first semester. So that could be semesters 1, 2, or even summer, depending on when you begin. Because as a university that is agile, we do have a January intake. So that becomes due, and it's not prorated. It can't be cut in half if you start in semester 2. And I'm going to tell you why on the next slide. It's not non-refundable, and the next slide will explain that as well. These fees are special fees. They're not a part of your tuition. They're not linked to teaching and learning. This is where the university provides for the whole person to ensure that our students are also safe, secured, and covered. So it's a composite of a number of fees: your health insurance, personal accident and life insurance, to ensure that if you're here, you can get medical assistance even above what our medical center offers. And they do provide extensive services, but you might need more. We want to ensure that you have that. Should something happen, God forbid, here on campus or while attending to a school-related activity, you are covered. Additionally, for all higher education institutions, we must call upon the resources of others to facilitate teaching and learning. That means we must pay into Jam Copy to ensure that you can access these resources from our library without violating any of the copyrighting law. And so those are monies paid outside of the university. Then we have some additional contributions, our Student Welfare Fund, which is a set of funds that we collect a small fee from each student. It is pooled and redirected to help our most needy students. And of course, we must acknowledge our student union, where the funds that we collect also in the small fees, some of it goes to our student union to fund the many student-related activities that they provide for you, including a number of financial support programs. And then some faculties have specific programs that require additional learning resources that have a fee attached. So these fees are not linked to tuition, and that is why when they're paid, they give you the coverage for the year, and so they're not refundable, and they cannot be transferred from one academic year to the next. So you would have heard about the enrollment commitment deposit, and now you're hearing about miscellaneous fees. One of the most popular questions we get in our department is, what's the difference? Well, first, the enrollment commitment deposit is a payment. It's not a charge. It's not a fee. It's that first step that you take this and in every academic session to indicate your commitment to being a part of us for that session. It means we can plan for teaching and learning because you have said, yes, I'm going to be here for semester 1, 2021-22. Your miscellaneous fees, as I explained, they are a charge, and they're a composite of small fees which must be paid so we can ensure you are covered whilst you are a part of us here at UTech. So what are these fees for the current academic year? Well, as you were told, the enrollment commitment deposit is 30,000 Jamaican dollars or $250 US. Once this deposit is paid, at UTech, we have said, let's just kill two birds with one stone, so that ECD goes towards your miscellaneous fee. And you would only pay a difference if your miscellaneous fees are higher than the ECD. And for some faculties with the special resources, that is possible. So when you were advised earlier to ensure you pay your ECD, I'm reiterating, it's important that you take that first step every semester, do so as early as possible, and ensure that you are ahead of the game. The deadline, although you were told there's not a specific deadline, there is a point at which you will be disadvantaged if you pay the ECD after. We are asking that you work towards ensuring that your ECD is fully paid by census date. A date I want you to note, a term I want you to learn and to continue to pay attention to. The census date for semester 121-22 is September 30th. That is the final date for you to enroll. And so we want to ensure that you have made your commitment that you're going to be here. And so we can then plan for teaching and learning. Note carefully that early registration is before census date and late registration is after. And therefore, if you are late, a penalty applies as always. This is no different. So we want you to pay ahead of that date. Note also that we encourage you to pay 2 working days before any deadline that we give, not because you're going to be late if you pay on the day, but it's very likely that your account will not be updated at the same point in time, and the system could generate a charge. Now, if you let us know that that happens, we will remove it, but we don't want to put you through all of that inconvenience. As best as possible, please try to pay in advance of 2 days in advance of the notice. So specifically for this semester coming up, we encourage you to pay 100% of your fees by census date if you can. And if you do, we're happy to give you a rebate of 2% of your tuition, and you can avoid all penalties. But if you can't use option 1, then option 2 is a viable option for you. The university executive has put forward a 30-30-40 plan, which breaks down the total into 3 easy to manage installments due September 30, October 29, and November 30th. As I said, this information will be communicated to you and has already been posted on the portal once you get access. Note carefully that if you miss the dates as published, then a penalty becomes applicable for each of the dates missed. And this is why I'm saying to read widely, read wisely, and pay attention to the details. Remember, if you can pay in full, please do so, because you are going to get a cashback on your tuition, and that will be applied on your account at the end of the semester. It's a line item. You can actually see the rebate, do your calculations, and see that it's accurate. If you can't pay in full and you are using the part payment, remember, you are also saving money, because we're not charging you a fee for paying in parts. The fee only becomes applicable if you miss the payment deadline. For SLB students, I just want to note for you, if you're being funded by the SLB, you must pay that miscellaneous fee in full. You will not get access to select, to complete registration, if you have not paid in full the miscellaneous fees. And that is even if you have an approved loan. We will be looking for the miscellaneous fees to be paid in order for you to become registered. Note that if you fail, if you're pursuing 0 credit courses, which are like remedial courses for math and English, those are not covered by the SLB. They don't pay for failures, so you're not working towards failure. If for any reason you have to go in an academic session, whether you need to apply for withdrawal for some personal reason, or you need leave of absence for the year, or it's a medical reason, you cannot stop from school and not advise the person who is paying your tuition. So please ensure that if you're SLB funded or funded by anybody else, if you intend to be off for a semester or that becomes necessary, communicate. If not, you will lose the funding for that session because we can't confirm that you're registered. Note also that you must maintain at least above a 1.5 GPA, which you will all do. I don't even want to belabor that, because we are here at the place of greatness. Quickly, I just want to tell you that we are working together as an institution with the SLB to help you to get your loans approved faster. So all our faculties and colleges are on board. We are an official collection point. Once you have submitted your application and you have your loan documents properly completed, you have the option of taking them here to us at UTech, to your faculty or college, where they will be collected, certified, and then we will package those and send them off to the SLB. And you will hear from the SLB about the number of options that you have available. Please use it to fund your education. And as I come to the close, I wanted to share with you just about a few funding options that we have here at UTech that you're going to pay attention to. Once we are done, you're going to go on our website, www.utech.edu.jm, and look for the link for financial aid. Pay attention to the scholarships. We have over 100 scholarships offered annually, and this year is no different. Our wonderful private and public sector donors continue to support our students who excel academically. What are we looking for from a scholar? You do well academically, you're involved in your co-curricular, you volunteer, and you have the need for the scholarship. So I want you to go online, check, look at what's available for your program, and apply. Additionally, as we move into the new semester, if you are a student who is in significant distress, financially, we do have, it is a small fund, but I must make you aware of it nonetheless. If you have a challenge, we want you to know that there is a fund to support you in whatever way we can. And what you'll do is look out for the start of the application process, which will be October 2021. We will place the notices out, and the team from Student Services and our counselors will help us to identify the persons who are in the most need. And of course, I mentioned earlier that we do have a great student work program. And so I want you to look out also for the notifications about the time that you will apply. You can go on the website now. Additional information is available along with the deadlines. These programs help you to earn and learn. And then when you're done with your 4 years, you have a wonderful resume with work experience. Many students at the end of their tenure do not have that. And finally, I would just like to remind you of the convenient locations that you can use to make your payment. All Paymaster locations island-wide, all Bill Express locations island-wide, JN Bank, which still allows you to come in branch, and NCB online only. This is amongst the many options that we do have available. And as soon as we are doing some upgrading, as soon as we are through, then our online, UTech online platform will also become available for fee payment. We will notify you as soon as that is done. And I just want to, as I'm here, I am just visioning, seeing you not virtually, but physically at graduation. And so I encourage you to take the steps towards success. Identify your sources of funding right now. All sources, discount none. Enroll early, ensure that you do so before census date. Look at your payment options and choose the best one for you and your family. Pay on time, avoid all penalties as much as possible, and study hard, and you will move seamlessly towards your academic pursuit. Thank you so much for listening, and I'm available for any questions after, if permitted. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Garcia Green McLennan, Director, Student Financing. I know some of you might be overwhelmed with the volume of information disseminated earlier, but don't worry. The information is available. You could revisit your letter and you will find a name and contact details of a rep from the Office of Admissions and Enrollment Management. Also, at the end of today's sessions, we will have a question and answer where we hope to take as many questions and provide a response to your questions. I'll just reiterate what Mrs. Green McLennan had stated earlier about the enrollment deposit. This is a deposit. It forms a part of your tuition. So you pay a percentage of your tuition in order to gain access to the system. Making this payment, you are able to select your modules, that's courses, and to commence classes before a census date is given. At this time, we will have representative from the Student Loan Bureau who will provide you with information as to the support you can get from the student loan. Alex Henry.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. All right, and good morning to everyone. Thank you so much for having us at the Student Loan Bureau. It's a privilege to share with all the students and the other members who will be sharing as well today. Let me just share my screen. One moment here. Okay, lovely. All right, so I hope you guys are seeing my screen. All right, so I'm Alex Henry, customer service agent here at the Students Loan Bureau. And I'm just here today to introduce to you guys some of the loan products that the student loan has to offer and how we can assist you with funding your tertiary education. I'm so happy that the Director of Financing would have explained in full details some of the other options, and she would have mentioned how you can seek assistance. So the SLB, for those, that's the short name for Student Loan Bureau, is one of those options that provide tuition funding for students in Jamaica who are pursuing their tertiary level education. You know, it's for local institutions that we fund. And before I begin, just to mention to you that most of our students, as you're seeing, 99% of our students who apply for the SLB funding, they are successful. You know, the other 1% would have been individuals who would have been referred to another type of loan product that we offer at the SLB here. So today, in short, I want to just mention 3 or 4 loan products that we offer and go into some details, and that is the targeted or undergraduate loan product, the PAYS or pay as you study loan product, and the postgrad loan product. The targeted loan, this is our most popular loan product. And this is for students who are pursuing their undergraduate studies, whether it be diploma, associate, or bachelor's degree. They'll apply for this type of funding. And this is where the student is required to repay after completion of the course of study. And this is 14 months after completion. So whether your program of studies 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, based on the course of study, you know, repayment starts 14 months after your expected graduation date. You know, you receive 100% tuition funding, and as you see, we have up to 15 or 20 years to repay, depending on the program. So maybe persons who are doing medicine and law, they'll get that 20 years to repay. You can close before the 20-year period. That's just the time frame that is provided for you to complete the course of study. And in this repayment period, it also accounts for your time in school, which is subtracted from it to give the balance as a repayment period. Our interest rate is as low as 7.8% in the moratorium period, and the moratorium period is your time in school, and 9.5% when you enter repayment, and the interest rate can be as low as 4% with different conditions and different programs of study. You know, it's $1 million per academic year for the targeted loan. One guarantor is not required for this loan product. You know, a parent or guardian can be a guarantor. So it's not just someone outside of your circle, but a family members also able to be a guarantor. Our application period is normally between February and May, but we'd have changed it for this academic year due to the pandemic. So our application period is still open. It remains open. There's no deadline on that as yet, but we encourage you to apply in time to prevent any rush for the September or the end of August school period. There is a grant that is also coupled with this loan product. So persons who apply for this loan product, they are in the run to also receive a grant. And this is separate from the tuition funding. And with this grant, you are not required to repay. Right? It's for your personal use, whether it's for additional school expenses. You can use this grant. It's a total of 50,000 per academic year, and we give 25,000 per semester. The PAYS loan, on the other hand, this is a loan product for more persons who are able to pay while they're studying. So with this loan product, you are paying a monthly amount while you're studying. Right? It's also for parents or guardians who would like to take it out on their child's behalf or on behalf of their spouse, for spouses who like to take out this loan product. One guarantor is also required for this loan product, and it's up to $1 million per academic year. Payments for this is done through salary deduction, and the interest rate on this loan product, it is 6% per annum versus the targeted loan, which is 7.8% per annum while you're in school. This loan product will require a credit check because yes, you'll be required to pay while you are studying. So you'll have to ensure that you're in the position to repay on this loan, and applications are done online. There's no deadline for this loan product. You can apply right throughout the year. It can also be used to cover for previous loan balances that you may have with the institution, and it can be used to facilitate payments for your current loan of study. Right? How do we apply for the SLB loan? Applications are done online through our website. That's www.slbja.com. Or once you type in the Student Loan Bureau on your internet search, you should see us come up. Students are required to register with an email and their TRN. They'll also create a password. The TRN will be their unique identifier. Once they have registered online, they should activate that email. A link will be sent to their personal email that they had used to register. And you'll activate that email. Once it's activated, you can now log in with that username and password that you have created, and you will go on the option to apply for the loan. You'll be required to, based on the loan product that you choose, you'll be required to complete sections A to K on the application. It asks for personal information, your guarantor information, also members information, the school's information, and you will complete that application request, send it in, and you'll await for your notification of approval. We would have been also required to submit appointment requests online, but for persons applying for this year, you will not be required to set the appointment online. We will provide you with a phone call to conduct an interview with you over the phone. So that's where the appointment can be scheduled for the interview to be done over the phone. And then from there, you'll be asked to come in with the required documents that would have been outlined on the same SLB portal for you to take in. There's an application fee of $1,000 for students who are applying for the first time, and a status report fee of $950. That's Jamaican dollars for persons who are returning students. Some of the required documents are your TRN, passport size photograph, your school ID for persons who are on the PATH program, the PATH registration, or persons who have also members who are on the PATH program. The proof of PATH is also required, proof of banking for the purpose of sending the grant, your government issued identification, income for your also members, acceptance letter, and also for returning students, the transcript. in addition to the contract documents that will be outlined for you to submit. What are the advantages of applying for the SLB loan? We have the lowest interest rate island-wide when it comes on to tuition funding. It's 6% per annum, and we can go as low as 4%. And these are under special circumstances. So for example, students who maintain a GPA no less than 1.5, you can benefit from a 2% reduction to the interest rate that is charged per annum on your loan for persons whose parents are from public sector employment. They also get a 1% reduction to the interest rate that is charged per annum. So that's the benefit of persons who apply for the SLB loan. And also when persons are in repayment, if they maintain good standing with the SLB, they also benefit from a 2% reduction to the interest rate that is charged per annum on their loan. And another benefit is the moratorium period. We are not required to pay. Though you are free to pay while in school, it's not a requirement. So you have the option of just focusing on your course of study until after graduation. You prepare yourself another 14 months to start repayment. There's no collateral required, and as mentioned, a grant of $50,000 is also coupled with the loan. And for persons, you are free to write a letter that's stating why you need the grant. Send it to SLB, and we can evaluate whether or not you can be approved for the loan. For persons who are on the PATH program, they also benefit from a 35% reduction to the processing fees that are charged. This is a fee that is charged in processing your loan. It's $5,250. So persons who on the PATH will pay $3,500. We mentioned the public sector workers who receive the 1% reduction to the interest rate during repayment. Also, persons who would have qualified or applied for the JAMBAT program, the SLB will pay, they will receive 70% of their tuition from the SLB, and the 30%, of course, will be funded by the Ministry of Education through the program. Also, some other benefits that will couple with repayments, persons whose accounts are current for more than 30 days, they'll benefit from the good standing, but these are for persons who are in repayment, but we want to focus on persons who are applying now for the loan. And we mentioned also 2.5% in GPA, you get a reduction of 2% to the interest rate that is charged on your account. You can apply online. That's our website. Repeat it. It's www.slbja.com. You can go on now and apply. You can also contact us for more information through our WhatsApp number. That is 279-8080. You can give us a call by phone at 619-4752. You can meet us on Facebook, Student Loan Bureau, Instagram at the Student Loan Bureau, Twitter at SLBJA, or you send us an email at info@slbja.com. Applications, let me remind you, it's open now, it remains open, so you are free to apply. I know that some persons are seeking extension with their school. Maybe a repayment time would have been coming close now to September, but you have additional courses that you have to do. You can request an extension from the SLB to facilitate further funding for your program of study. Thank you very much, and I'll take the questions when they come in the question and answer session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Henry, for your presentation. Mr. Henry is from the Student Loan Bureau. And earlier, Mrs. Garcia Green McLennan, Director of Student Financing, shared with you how you can pay for your university education and the support that is available here at the University of Technology, Jamaica. And Mr. Henry spoke to you on how you can access support from the Student Loan Bureau. We're moving on with our program. Approximately 17 months ago, the world has been experiencing a global pandemic, following the speed at which the COVID-19 virus spread to all parts of the world. We at the University of Technology, Jamaica is aware of the academic challenges, and in this regard, we have strengthened our distant learning approaches and modalities. At this time, may I invite Mr. Andre Lawrence, e-learning technologist from the Office of Distance Learning, to deliver his presentation.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, colleagues. I hope I'm being heard. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we are hearing.
Okay. All right. So once you would have cleared all of what was said before, in terms of your fee payment, selecting your modules, then where do you access your module and your lecturers? As we said before, I'm Andre Lawrence. Also here with me is Leon Grant, our Education Technology Specialist, and we're from the Office of Distance Learning. And we are here to guide you on how to access and navigate the online space. Now, what you're seeing on your screen is actually the login for the university. But before we get here, to access our learning management platform, which is Moodle, you may ask, what is Moodle? Moodle is a learning content management system. It provides you, the learner, a space online that allows for engaging activities and materials. Yeah. So to get to our learning management system, you will go to the University of Technology Jamaica website. That's www.utech.edu.jm. Once you've logged on to our website, then just navigate to the far right where you'd see students. Select students. Once you'd have selected students, you would then be navigated to the academic resources. Now the academic resources will have the link to our learning management platform, which is branded UTech Online. Once you'd have selected the link, e-learning UTech Online, it will then take you to the link to access our learning management system. Our learning management system, Moodle. Once you would have selected the link to our learning management system, it will then ask you to enter a username and password. Now, your username and password is your ID number, and by default, if you've not yet registered, not received financial clearance, after you'd have done this process, you would then receive a default password. That default password is your date of birth, and that format is day, month, and year, okay? If you're having any difficulty in terms of using that to log on to UTech Online, which is our learning management system, you can always email. You can see here, tier 1 support at utech.edu.jm, and you will be able to send an email just indicating that you're having difficulty logging into the university's website, and they will provide you with your login information, all right? So you then enter your username and password. All right, you are then now able to log in. Now, the first thing you will see once you have logged in is the dashboard. Now, the dashboard would contain all the modules you would have selected for your current semester. So as you can see, information technology and transit module are some on my dashboard, which I'm enrolled in. Likewise, the modules you would have selected for the semester, you'll be able to see these modules and able to just select that module, and you would be able to access your online class. Now, normally when you log in, you may not see the side panel, which is our links or settings or navigation bar. Once you see these three white lines, once you click on it, it will turn into an X, and then you're able to see the settings. Many students have complained that they're not able to see it, and it's because it's not selected. So if you go in and you're not seeing it, just click on the three white bars, and then it will display the administration block or the navigation settings. All right. So once you would have done that, there's two buttons you're seeing here. It's timeline and courses. So we spoke about the courses page where you would see all the courses that you would have selected. Next to that is timeline. Now, what is timeline? The timeline will provide you with all the activities that you will have on your modules. So if you have upcoming assignments, if you have quizzes to be done, submissions to be made, forum posts to be made, this will alert you of those upcoming events, and you're able to remind yourself so that you're able to complete those activities given by your lecturer. All right, so let's look at what a typical course will look. So information technology, we're going to use this module as an example. So once you would have selected, let me just select it. All right. So once you have selected the UTech Online and the information technology module, your module will then load. Most of you first year will do this module because it's a module that must be done, or if you select this module to be done, it's typically the module gives an outlay of information. So on this module, the information technology module, we have links to join classes. So there may be other classes that you can join here. Also, there's a schedule, a class outline schedule you can have access to. Group research project, if one is given. Resources, these are links to technical requirements, different information on how to navigate the online module. There's also links to text. So the online environment provides you a space that you can learn from the materials that have been posted by your lecturer, and you're able to navigate the course by doing the activities and able to complete and submit assignments. So that's what the learning management UTech Online has afforded us to do during this pandemic. So you're still able to access your materials, speak to your lecturer, and submit your assignments, working even in groups, right? UTech Online allows for group creation. So you're still able to work in your groups. The other step that we will look at is the student orientation module. So because you're new to UTech Online, we have created a student online orientation course that you, the student, at your own pace, is able to go in and take the activities. So for example, it has taken a course in UTech Online, participating in activities for content submission, participate in activities on collaboration, and participate in activities for assessing progress, and the list goes on. So you can take this at your own pace. And the good thing about after you'd have completed it, there is a feedback section, which I'll just touch on briefly. So once you would have completed it, you are able to do a module evaluation, so you can assess if there's improvements that we must make, or there's activities that you found clearly outlined. So you can indicate to us by completing the evaluation, and we're able to make those improvements and note those successes that you have recognized. Also, there's a module completion certification, right? So this is where you will receive a certificate after answering questions based upon what you would have achieved. And you can keep this certification to say that you'd have completed the Moodle introductory course, all right? How do you get to UTech Online Student Orientation course? Their site home, let me just scroll up. Now, site home on the administration block, again, the navigation pane is where you can select site home. And this is where you're able to search courses, right? So normally we used to enroll students using enrollment keys. We've now moved away from enrollment keys, and now you're added automatically to courses. So once you'd have paid your fees and receive your financial clearance, you will be automatically be added to your modules. So when you go to your dashboard, you will see all the listing of your modules. Also, on the site home, if you realize under my courses, you will see a listing of all the modules that you've also selected. So one, you will see it on your dashboard. Let me just quickly go to your dashboard. So you see the modules. Once you first log into your online profile, you see all the modules listed. And also on site home, when you're able to search for other modules, you will also see the list of modules that you are enrolled in just below search courses under my courses. And you will see all the modules that you are listed in for the semester, right? All right. So another important thing that you should know, also, there's a Moodle mobile app. So I know most of you may not have laptops or tablets, or even if you do, and you use your phones mostly, you're able to download the Moodle mobile app from the Android store or Apple iStore. You're able to download the Moodle mobile app. It will ask you, it's a simple two-step process. It will ask you to set up and enter your URL, which is this. It's www.uteconline.utech.edu.jm, university's website. Once you place that in, it will ask you to click continue. Once you click continue, it will then automatically load the University of Technology website, which is our learning management system. And then it will ask you to enter your username and password, which you would have gotten before. Once you've entered that, then you're able to access all your courses and UTech Online from your mobile devices. All right, so that's a little feature you can use on your mobile phone. So just to recap, then we're going to move on to Blackboard Collaborate, which is our virtual learning space. But before that, just to do a quick recap for UTech Online, you're able to submit assignment, you can do quizzes, you can do in groups, you can participate in group activities, and you can send messages to your lecturer using the chat feature, and you're able to have an online virtual Sorry, hope you're still hearing me. Are you hearing me now? Hello?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Okay, thanks. Right. Sorry about that. Right. So you're able to have your online experience just as you would in class by using the learning management system. All right. So now on the module, how do you access your class that the lecturer is having virtually? Now, I'm going to use the information technology module as an example again. Now, on modules, you would see, for example, using this link, which is our Collaborate, which is our web conferencing software, Blackboard Collaborate, you're able to see an online class. And this class is indicated by the lecturer's name. And you may see it in different format, but once you would see this icon here, you will know that this is an online virtual class, and it will tell the time and the lecturer's name. So this is how you'd find your classes. Once you've selected your modules and you've logged into UTech Online and you're on your dashboard and you select any of those modules, you're able to look through and you're able to find on web conferencing class setup for that lecturer. All right. So once you'd have selected the online class, right, it will load. And there you'll see a join session, right? So right under sessions, you see join sessions. And this is what you would select to join the class. And while we're here, recordings. So if you've been to the class and you may not have remembered all the materials that you discussed, if the teacher had recorded the class, you're able to access the recordings also, right, for that class. So we're going to join the meeting now. So we're going to click on join session. Okay, so once you would click on the link, it will then ask you to enter your name to join the session. So just enter your name, and this is how the Blackboard Collaborate will display, and just select join session. So it will then ask you to select your audio. So this is where you're able to select the correct audio that you have on your machine, ensure that you select the correct one, and then click allow. All right, once you would allow audio, then you would be able to join the class. Now, in Blackboard Collaborate, this is how it looks once you would have logged in. On the profile settings, you would see your name, right? You would see activities or emojis that you can use to participate in the class. So if you're not understanding, maybe you can say, I'm confused. If you're happy, based upon what the teacher would have been presented or communicating with your other classmate, you're able to use the different features. You can agree or disagree if there are poll sessions in the class. All right. So it's a synchronous communication device that allows for immediate communication. So next to your My Status settings, then you have audio, right? So this is where you can turn on your microphone if asked by the lecturer to make a point or to comment on a topic. Notice that when I speak, the bar moves. It's another indication that your microphone is carrying through your audio. Next to that is your video settings. So you just select the video settings, and it will also allow you to select your video settings. Once you allow, then your video will be able to show. All right, next to the video settings, share video, we have the raise hand feature. All right, you're able to raise hand in the class, and what we ask is that when you join the class, ensure that your microphone is muted. So if the class is ongoing when you join, you do not disrupt the session that is ongoing. And if you have a question, raise your hand and the teacher will, our lecturer will acknowledge you. And once you have been identified, then you can say what is it that you wish to say, right? So that is what we encourage. Next to the settings, to the far bottom corner, there's a purple arrow, right? Once you select this arrow, it will then show you the chat feature. So you can also type a chat to the lecturer, right? Or to everyone, depends on the persons in the room. I'm the only person in now, so I'm just able to say to everyone, right? So you're able to type in the chat. You're also able to see the participants, persons that are in the meeting with you. And also next to the participants tab is the share content. Now, as a student, you will not be able to share until you are promoted to presenter. And then you'll be able to share your content, whether it's a PowerPoint that you have, or it's a assignment, PDF assignment that you would have want to show. You're able to share that content. Next to the share content is the My Settings feature. So this is where if you're having audio or video difficulty, you're able to just check to make sure that your audio is working, right? And it's showing you the bar moving, right? If not, if your device automatically selects a different audio device, using this drop-down arrow, you're able to select the correct audio device that your computer uses. All right, once you have that working, yes, audio is working. It will ask the same thing for video. So you're also then can select your video. Video is working, yes, continue. And then we're able to participate in the class. All right, so that's basically a quick overview of UTech Online or Learning Management Content System and Blackboard Collaborate or web conferencing system. All right, I'll be here to answer any questions when the time allows. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lawrence, on that presentation as to how we can navigate the UTech Online and Blackboard Collaborate. There are some very important dates that I would like to remind you of for the academic year 2021-2022. Registration for semester 1 is on August 9, 2021. Classes begins on August 23, 2021. And the census date is on the 30th of September, 2021. On this date, 30% of your tuition become due. At this time, Miss Robin Murray has been waiting to join the session and to meet with you. She would be more than happy to meet with you in person, but at this time, due to the COVID-19, the restraint, we cannot meet in person. So she will be advising you on how to work together to promote a campus climate that is respectful, civil, supportive, and safe. Please make welcome Miss Murray.
Okay, thank you very much and good morning, everyone. I hope everybody is excited and I hope everybody's doing well. Now, I initially planned to touch on some of the stuff that we're going to be offering for our new students and, our returning students here, but we have orientation coming up and we have a day that is dedicated to the union for us to engage you guys and tell us what you can expect for the year, right? So I'm actually going to share some stuff with you guys in this forum here. Because module selection, normal registration begins on the 9th of August, right? And I just want you guys to go in as prepared as you can, right? So first things first, as it has been stressed throughout this whole forum, ensure that your ECD is paid on time and ensure that you use the correct payment methods, right? If you don't do that, you cannot expect to get clearance for module selection. Now, the second thing, we have a lot of students trying to access the portal at once. That is more than 3,000 students accessing one site at once. The portal is going to go down from time to time. It's going to be overloaded, right? So guys, please don't panic when you realize that you're getting an error 404 page or you realize that you can't log in. Don't call everybody to try to figure out what's going on. What I would suggest that you guys do, wake up at 4 o'clock. This is what I did. It's always been working for me. Wake up at 4 o'clock or stay up until probably 11 and select your modules at that time. You have less traffic there. And the reason why I'm focusing on things like this here is because, like I said, we have Union Day coming up and it's going to be fun, it's going to be exciting, and it's going to be engaging. And we can focus on, the fun stuff there. I just want to ensure that next week you guys are prepared, you guys won't panic, and you guys won't get flustered. The services are here for you guys to utilize. The emails have been shared, Tier 1 support, in customer support. Any challenges you're having, you reach out to the departments that are there to assist you, right? For the academic advisement session later, as a student, I am encouraging you guys to take notes and ask the questions you need to ask there. Don't be afraid to say you don't know what a module selection guide is. Don't be afraid if you don't know what to select. Ask there. Use the time to get some clarity. Orientation is after normal registration commences, and we don't want you guys to panic or feel left out or left behind. Now, apart from that, I just want to, congratulate you guys on taking this step. During the pandemic, it's not the same, right? Some of you guys are coming from CSEC Community College, so you'd have understand or you'd have experienced what an online environment will be like. At university, the workload is heavier. Everything is more time consuming. And if you're not careful, I don't want to say it so loosely, but you will lose your mind. So I need you guys to start planning out from now. Based on your schedule, what can you manage to take? How many hours in the week can you manage to sacrifice? Sorry, I had some background noise. So I muted for a second. But yes, I want you guys to plan out how much time out of the week you want to set for yourself, that you need to set for your studies, that you need to set for work. I want you to bear that in mind when selecting your modules, because if not, you're going to find yourself doing classes from 8 o'clock in the morning to 9 p.m. in the night, right? And we don't want that. We don't want that at all, especially if you're doing that Mondays to Fridays. So try to find a balance, because online school, it's from a student perspective, guys, it's draining, but it's what we have to do in order to keep ourselves and staff safe, right? But again, congratulations on taking this step. It's really remarkable. This university is one that I have had an excellent experience here, which has motivated me to become a president, which has motivated me to continue serving for 3 years for our students. This university, it's more than just coming and learning and just engaging with people 1 and 2 times. It's more so a family. The bonds that you build here, the friends that you make, you won't regret it. And this is an excellent choice. You have several opportunities here waiting for you. Please take the opportunity and use it wisely. Use it wisely. Do not let the year finish and you don't at least get involved in one thing and you don't benefit from one thing the university has to offer. Right. So again, congratulations, and I wish you guys all the best, and see you at orientation.
Thank you, Ms. Murray, President of the University of Technology Students Union. We would like to get your feedback on today's forum, and you're encouraged to do so by scrolling down, select the first link, and enter your feedback comments on the session. We now will be having the question and answers. So you are encouraged again to pose your questions. You could put them in the chat. We have already have some on hand that we'll go through. And Mr. Clayton Moore, the Assistant Registrar for Admissions Enrollment, will answer the questions.
Good morning again, everyone. All right, thank you for continuing to tune in to this pre-registration forum. Now, we have noted some of your questions in the chat on YouTube, and we want to address some of these. So here we go. So one of the first questions that you have asked is, how do you know that the enrollment commitment deposit, that is ECD, is received? Now, for all payments, it takes approximately 2 clear working days for the payment to be received by UTech. So for example, if you pay on a Monday, then it is that your payment, the first clear working day is Tuesday, the second clear working day is Wednesday, and then you are to expect the payment to be received by the Thursday. You will know payment is received once you're able to go onto the student portal and have access to begin selecting your classes. That brings us to another question in respect of when will you have access to the student portal. Some of you would have already paid your enrollment commitment deposit. Excellent, we thank you very much. If you have not yet paid your enrollment commitment deposit, but you have been given an offer to come to UTech, then it is we're asking you to make the payment. However, you will not yet get access to the student portal until August 9th. So that is Monday, August 9th. That is when we open the student portal for you. So if you've made your payment, that payment is received, then come Monday, August 9th, that is when the student portal will be open to you. So if you've made a payment already and you go onto the website, you won't have access yet because we have not yet opened it up for you. That will be Monday, the 9th. Okay. Another question that has been asked here is that how do you differ? That's for some of you are not quite ready yet to start. And we know that for most of the courses of study, you may begin anytime. For instance, you may begin in August. Classes begin August 23rd, but some of you may want to begin in January. If it is that you want to begin January, or for instance, you want to begin next year, then we ask you, you must pay the enrollment commitment deposit because that holds your space until you're ready to come in. We don't hold your space for more than 1 year, however, okay? And the enrollment commitment deposit is a non-refundable fee. All right, so make that payment of the ECD, then complete a form that we call the SSAC or the CSAC for short, that is the Faculty Student Academic Affairs Committee form. And that form you may find on the website. It's under, when you go on the homepage, that you scroll down and you will see one of the quick links saying forms. You'll be able to find that form there. You complete that form and you submit it to your college or faculty. You may submit this form by sending it via email and your college and faculties will give you the information in respect of the emails, email address that you can send emails to them. All right. So another question that we have, will there be face-to-face classes? Okay, the general answer for that is that most of the classes will be online. All right, of course, because of the pandemic, we are not running the risk, and of course, the government is still giving us guidance, and so most of your classes will be online. There will be a few classes, however, particularly for those persons who do courses of study that have components such as practicals or labs. You may be doing nursing or pharmacy, environmental health, or some computing classes. Those may have some components of face-to-face. So wherever you are having labs or practicals, there may be some face-to-face classes, but in the main, those classes, face-to-face option will be limited to you. And the faculty will tell you more, the colleges and faculties will tell you more about that. An additional question that we have here is that about this presentation. Yes, there are some persons who may have joined late and so would have missed the first portions or some parts of this forum. You may go back on the website or on our YouTube page and access the forum here and just see. And we are very pleased that you can always refer to the website, so that if there's something that you have missed, if there's something that you want to be refreshed, please go back and ask and see what is there. We give you these presentations, we give you the guidelines by the step of the way that you pay your enrollment commitment deposit. On the 9th, we open the student portal. You go on that link that says student, you click on that, and then the student portal there will come up. You will be armed with your module selection guide. Your module selection guide is that guide that tells you all the classes that you will need to be selecting in the first semester one here, which semester one is from September to December. It will give you also the classes for semester two, which is from January to April. And then also if you're doing summer, some of you may not do summer, but some of you will do summer, and summer is generally from May to July, just about August there. And we'll give you all the modules, all the classes that you will need to do for the academic year. And so you'll select the classes as is. There are some other questions, but I will allow my other colleague, Mrs. Green McLennan, Director of Student Financing, and also Mrs. Wright Lindsay from the Medical Center to answer those questions for you. We also have in the chat to answer some questions for you, Mrs. Sandy Lawrence, who is a prior learning assessment coordinator. And Mrs. Lawrence's job, part of Mrs. Lawrence's job is to help persons who want to access UTech, but however, do not have all the qualifications. And so there are persons who may want to do, say for instance, you want to do a business administration course, but however, you have 4 CXC subjects. And but in addition to the CXC subjects, you also have some years of experience in terms of working. Mrs. Lawrence will be able to say to you, all right, the option is here that we can assess your work experience and see how it is that we can use some of that to onboard you to access studies here at UTech. So Mrs. Lawrence is available to you to answer those questions. And I'm just going to turn back over this time so Mr. Dawson can give you some more guidance in terms of Mrs. McLennan, the questions that they're asking that you can answer, where to pay the ECD, the ancillary fees and the ECD, the same thing. They're also asking when are the due dates for the payment installments. So we will allow Mrs. McLennan to address those.
Okay, thank you so much. I just wanted to put back up the details for our participants to see. The dates that surround the fee payment plan are here before you. We have a 30-30-40 plan, which means once you have selected your modules and you have generated an invoice, you're required to make 3 payments, and the dates are as follows. September 30th, 2021 for your first payment of 30%. The second installment, October 29th, 2021 for that second payment. And we expect that by November 30th, 2021, you would have made the third and final installment to complete that full payment of the tuition that you would have identified all the way back in August. So essentially, the university has spread this semester's cost over a 4-month period to ensure that you have the ability to meet and even precede these deadlines. In terms of where you can pay, I had mentioned earlier that we have a number of convenient locations for you, all Paymaster and Bill Express locations island-wide. And I think Paymaster also offers an online option that you can use to make your payments. And in terms of banks, we ask you to note carefully that only JN, you should do a walk-in in the banking hall to make your payment. Ensure that you know your ID, and your ID is what would have been assigned to you at admissions. You can't just place the money and say it's for UTech. You must have that ID number. And of course, you can use NCB online to make your tuition payment. These are the options that are currently available to you. And for the final question, which again is asking for clarity between your enrollment commitment deposit and your miscellaneous fees, note one is a deposit, one is a fee. Your deposit is a payment being made against your account, which in the first instance will always go towards your miscellaneous fees. But your miscellaneous fees are the small fees that you are expected to bear out of pocket, which you must pay each academic year, not semesterly. Those charges are once per academic year. And when you make your ECD payment in the first semester, it'll go towards the miscellaneous fees. Note that in every semester, you pay an ECD and it goes towards the overall cost. Mr. Moderator, I do hope I have attended to the questions, but those were the 3 that I had. So your ECD is a payment and the miscellaneous fees are your small fees, which you must bear out of pocket as your first requirement in the whole tuition component. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Green McLennan. The next questions are field to Mr. Alex Henry. What are the application requirements for the SLB? And kindly give a synopsis of the processing time and application statuses. Mr. Henry?
Yes, thank you, sir. So the application requirements are the required documents for applying for the student loan. As a first-time applicant, you'll be required to take in some personal documents in terms of your birth certificate, your ID, your TRN, passport size photograph, and also income for your household members. Those are the main required documents for first-time applicants. The others would have been the acceptance letter from your school, or if you are a returning student to the institution, but first with SLB, a transcript or a status letter will be required. And in addition to the required documents, once you're approved, some contract documents for both the applicant and the guarantor to sign will be provided. Some of these contract documents are called the promissory note, the guarantee agreement, the consent form for both applicants and guarantor, their proof of address, both applicants and guarantor, and their proof of income, along with the guarantor taking their ID, their TRN, and a passport size photograph in some cases. The processing time, there's no fixed processing time, but once you apply for the student loan, generally the wait time for approval is normally up to 2 weeks. That may differ based on the volume of submission that we have to evaluate for acceptance. Once you are approved, you are provided with the list of required documents. They are on the portal for persons to go online, go on their loan status once they log into the SLB portal, download those documents, have them signed and submitted in office. Once those documents are submitted in office, the processing time for them can be up to 2 weeks. And again, that is based on the volume of submissions that are being done and the order in which the individuals that have submitted their documents. So 2 weeks is the general turnaround time for each process. That is from applying to receiving approval and from submission of documents to receiving the updating of the loan status, and that information in terms of the status is also communicated with the institutions. And that 2 weeks period can differ based on the volume of submissions and also the volume of evaluations for acceptance that has to be done. Over to you, Axel.
Mr. Henry, before you go, a question I'm seeing here. Will I be able to access a loan if I'm working?
Yes, man, you can. If you're employed, you are still free to apply for the SLB funding. So it's not just geared to persons who are unemployed or for students, but for students who would like to work and study, the loan is also open to them.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Henry.
Yes, man, you're welcome.
I'll now go back to Mr. Clayton Moore, Assistant Registrar, who will answer some more questions.
All right, thank you, Mr. Dawson. All right, so we're coming down to the time and moving soon to the academic advisor. But you have some questions in respect of the medical process. One of the first questions that you ask is where to find the medical form. All right, so it's on the website. You can approach it from more than one sections from the website. So if you, on the page where we're doing the pre-registration forum, then you have the undergraduate checklist. You can see the medical form under the checklist. The other approach to take to it is that you can go to the medical center page on the website and you will also find the form. All right, so those are the approaches for you to find the form. And there are some other questions that you asked, and I'm just going to repeat them here so that Mrs. Saniki Wright-Lindsay from the Medical Center can address those questions. And the first question is, what if I lost my immunization card? All right, so many of you may not have an immunization card, and Mrs. Wright-Lindsay would answer that. The second question is, what if I have not received all my shots? And the third question for Mrs. Wright-Lindsay is, do students receive health cards? So she will answer those questions for you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. If you have lost your immunization card, then you can go back to the health center or the institution where you were born and ask for a copy, or you can go to the health authority that is within your region and ask for a copy of your immunization card. If all of those options fail, then you would just need to start getting the vaccines over. At this age, not all the vaccines are going to be needed. So you'll just need to get maybe your, depending on the faculty that you're going in, you need to get your tetanus shot, which is mandatory. You need to get your chickenpox vaccine, your hepatitis B vaccines, and your flu shots as the season comes around. So you can still access, you can still have access to immunizations without your card. All right, so to repeat that so you understand, You can go back to where you were born or where you got your shots initially, and you can ask them to give you a copy of it. You can even go back to your high school, because when you would have been enrolling in high school, they would have asked you for a copy of your immunization card. So they should have that there. So you can access all those options. And if those fail, then you'll just start to get the shots that are required at this age that you're currently at. If you've not received all your vaccine, that's easy too. You'll just start receiving them now. So for those persons who are going into the College of Health Sciences, Joint Health, you will need to get chickenpox vaccine if you've not had the chickenpox virus. You'll also need to get the hepatitis B vaccines, and you'll need to get the flu shots as well. We at the medical center offer hepatitis B vaccines and the tetanus shot. Other vaccines can be sourced at other vaccine centers. The health card, university does offer you a health card which can be accessed through the Student Services Department. So after you would have completed your enrollment process, you would have submitted your medical, you would have gotten your ID, then you can go to the Student Services office and make inquiries about your health card. I hope I've answered the questions.
Yes, Mrs. Wright Lindsay, you have, so thank you very much. And we know that persons can contact the medical center and receive more information for what they need. Just want to address very quickly some matters that you have brought up. First of all, we also want to welcome specially at this time the franchise students. We don't want to leave you out. The franchise students are those persons who went to other locations. So for instance, Brownstown Community College, Mobile Community College, Portmore, and they started a UTech course of study at those locations. They would have done 2 years at those locations, and then now in their third year are coming to a UTech location, whether it is Papine or Montego Bay or one of the other locations. And so you are here also. And just to note, for you to do your enrollment, you will need to pay the enrollment commitment deposit also, but your grades need to be in, all your grades need to be in, and what we call progression needs to be done. And what is progression? Progression is where at the end of the academic year, the university looks at your record, and we run a process now to see all your grades are in, they are validated, they are checked, and we will see what status you have going forward, whether it is that you can move to the next level from level 1 or year 1 to year 2, that is progression. So for franchise students, you need to pay the enrollment commitment deposit, all your grades need to be in, and you need to be progressed. If you're not seeing your grades or you're not progressed, please speak with somebody at the franchise or speak with somebody at the college or faculty. Very quickly also, questions have been asked about conditional offer and the unconditional offer. So if you're here, it is because you have one of those offers. An unconditional offer is given to someone who does not need to submit anything else to UTech. That means you have submitted everything, we are satisfied, and we have given you an offer to say, yes, you're ready to go, ready to make your payment, and so forth. A conditional offer, however, is given to someone who needs to meet another, at least one condition. For some persons, it might be that you have not yet sent in your birth certificate, but generally it would be that you need to still send in your qualifications. And what we have said to you, we're giving you this offer on a condition that you send in your qualifications or your birth certificate or something that is outstanding. And when you have brought those in, then it is will give you an unconditional offer. I mean, there's nothing left for you to bring in. For persons who have been given a conditional offer, you do not need yet to pay the enrollment commitment deposit. Only persons who have been given an offer should pay the enrollment commitment deposit. I want to also say very quickly that there are some persons that we have given a special offer, that those persons who are sitting their CXCs, that is a CSEC and the CAPES, at this point they would have sat those and will be waiting for those results, which will be published after classes would have begun on August 23rd. We have given many of you an offer to begin your course here at UTech before receiving your results. And in the letter that we sent to you, that we stipulated some conditions about that. You have 2 years to put send in your qualifications, etc. You can read in your letter and so forth. And so those are the conditions for those persons. Question about uniform, your faculty and college will tell you, hospitality and tourism management, nursing, you wear uniforms, and your faculties will give you information about those. So thank you again as I hand over to Mr. Dawson.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. I would like to thank you all for joining the University of Technology Jamaica Pre-Registration Forum 2021. You have been a very participative and very where you'll join the academic advisement session. To access this session, you will scroll down the description bar and you'll see the link to the academic advisement session. You will ask more intimate questions to meet with faculty deans, academic staff within the colleges and faculties, where you can talk about classes and get acquainted with campus and resources. Once again, I would like to thank you to wear your mask, sanitize, and keep your distance. Good luck. Good afternoon.